Israel and Iran, it's a complete mess out there. And it affects us as crypto investors. That's what I want to discuss, of course. But to start, I do want to say we are not the victims. What's happening there is absolutely terrible, of course. Right? Now, of course, we as crypto investors, we invest, we put our money somewhere. Money is important. You can say whatever you want. It matters and it could have a negative impact on us. But there are obviously bigger problems. So let's not act like victims, okay? Nevertheless, like I said, we do invest in crypto. Our money is there. I need to feed my children. And this type of news, it affects me. It affects you. And that's what I want to discuss in this video. I don't want to go in details about what's going on. That's not up to me. I want to look how it affects the market and what we could expect. So at the moment of recording, and this video should come out right away, the market took a little hit. The market took a little hit because these type situations are, of course, not good for any kind of risk asset. Once the stock market opens, we will see that it will probably go down a little bit. Gold is, of course, going up, making new highs. Bitcoin is taking somewhat of a hit, but even Bitcoin is showing in this situation like, hey, it is Bitcoin. It's the safest asset. If you want to invest in crypto and still be safe, then go and invest in Bitcoin. You should not be in the altcoin market if you don't want to take any more risk. Bitcoin is not, in my opinion, risky as what it was a couple years ago. Bitcoin shows tariffs, wars. There's more than that. There's something called the M2, the global liquidity, the macro that it's been following. There's a lot that impacts crypto besides bad news. And Bitcoin is showing, even with what's going on right now, on the chart, you cannot even see that something is going on. We went down with like 4%. Yeah. That's at least what you should expect on a weekly base in crypto. That's just the volatility. The altcoin market took a little bigger hit, and that's understandable because these are not the best times. People search for certainty and they flee to gold for mainly, right? The dollar is also, yeah, I mean, you see what happened to the dollar? The dollar tanked. We all know that the dollar is on its deathbed, and it's just a matter of time. Bitcoin is doing well. Bitcoin will keep on doing well. There will always be bear markets, but Bitcoin will be there. However, people don't feel comfortable yet about the altcoin market, and they sell off now again their alts to Bitcoin. Is that worrying, in my opinion? By the way, hi, welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Is that worrying? In my opinion, not really. Whatever happens is always a buying opportunity if you are at least a little long-term focused. So if you look at the altcoin market, for example, yeah, what's happening right now is not really helping, definitely not. However, I do think that if we look back in a couple weeks, maybe already in a few months, we could again say, you know, this was a moment where you wanted to get in. The market, especially the altcoin market, is very vulnerable for bad news. Why? Because there are already not a lot of people in the altcoin market. So there's not a lot of liquidity. And the people that are in the altcoin market are not sure what the fuck they are doing there. They look at their altcoin bags. And with every 5% correction, they say, oh, it's going down. Yeah, if you cannot handle that, you're going to get wiped out. So a lot of people, they see this happen and they be like, okay, let's sell off. Let's get in Bitcoin. Now we still can. Now we still can. Let's look at the facts. Where's the Bitcoin dominance? Is it sitting really low or really high? If it's really low, then it's a good time to indeed go into Bitcoin because you know there's a big Bitcoin run that you can catch. If it's sitting really high, then yeah, maybe you can ride a little bit of the extra wave that may or may not come. But is it a smart time to do so? In my opinion, it is absolutely not the case. But then again, that's where we, talk about people's emotions. So my portfolio took a hit. Like in the last couple weeks, it run up quite a lot, actually. And that's mostly because I had a pretty good entry point. Also because I happened to be in some altcoins that luckily outperformed the market. I shuffled some altcoins for other altcoins, which was a great choice. But overall, my portfolio now took a very big hit. And I can definitely imagine that your portfolio did the same. I just want to mention this. Don't let this shake you out. Could this whole situation get worse? Definitely. There's a very good chance that it's not getting a lot better very fast. Could that impact the market in the short term? Definitely. Could it eventually, again, be a situation where we look back and be like, you know what? That was an opportunity to just get into the market because everybody was already scared, unsure, fudding, not even here. And then we get this on top. I really have to give it to the people that are bearish. Like, I get it. Is it the right move to make right now? No, but I totally get it. This market has been boring. Every time it went up, it went down again. So if you are not a bit active when it comes to buying lows and taking profits, then your portfolio is not looking good. And then now this is what you get. Yeah, I have to give it to you, man. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And I can preach all the time like, yeah, just be not emotional, buy the lows. It's maybe easier said than done if you are not in crypto for more than a decade. Then you have to go through this and it sucks. But let's look at facts. We can look at every piece of news in history and we can say that that was enough to completely wipe out everything we had. Tariffs was huge, actually. COVID was even way bigger. That affected the whole world, the health of people, the financial situations of pretty much everybody. The first recession, short recession, that crypto ever went through. And still what happened, it recovered like it was nothing. And you could say like, yeah, that's because they turned the money printers on. Yeah, and that's what it shows. If things go really bad financially, they turn money printers on. So don't worry. If it gets bad, then the dollar is going to be like, hey, look at the Ponzi kind of piece of shit scam that I am. We just print more. Right? So yeah, your altcoins, etc., they will be worth more. But the money that you get for it doesn't necessarily buy you more. You have to keep that in mind. So apart from that, you have to look how you outperform. Spilled my coffee. Shit. You have to look how you outperform. How do you outperform? I think really turning off your emotions is the way to do so. Let's look at a couple facts. So let's ignore news because eventually news doesn't matter. It sounds weird, but eventually it doesn't matter. The charts are more important. And I know it's hard for people to believe, but if the news really matters that much, then the charts will follow that. And if they don't, then apparently it didn't matter that much. What do we see right now? When it comes to the altcoin market, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, so and stables. So every altcoin, excluding ETH, in the top 125. How's it looking? it is by far not looking like the bull structure has been broken. And we have a long way to go down to even turn bearish. The altcoin market has to go down with at least, let's say 30% from here to even discuss the fact that if the altcoin market is maybe bearish or not. For now, it is not. Simply, it's not. And again, I'm sorry for saying this, but if your portfolio is very red, very bad, underwater, then it has nothing to do with the altcoin market, because you could see right here, even the high caps, they are slow but steady going up. Not as great as Bitcoin, but they're at least not down. If you are down, you probably bought either the wrong coins or the wrong moment, or a combination of both could also be. And that's what you need to learn. Stop blaming the market. Stop blaming these countries in this case. Stop blaming Trump. Stop blaming whoever. And look at what you could done better. That will make you, that's the only thing that will make you better. That's what it is. The altcoin market is still in an uptrend. Is it short term now pulling down? Yeah. Could we expect more? Yeah, definitely. We could maybe expect, like I said, worst case, like maybe 30%. So what now? Should you panic sell or sell strategically and wait for it to go low to buy back? I don't know. Always consider, what if it doesn't go there? Are you prepared really to FOMO back in higher and counter trade yourself out of the market, or be sidelined in a bull market? It's not worth it. In my opinion, it's best to hold on to what you have. If these alts are something that's really top conviction. If they're not, then you maybe want to look at some riskier alts and be like, okay, you know what? I have to let you go to buy the more established alts that are not going to completely wreck me if things take a 180. And if you are in that situation where it is possible to DCA. That's my best advice. If we look at, again, the Bitcoin dominance, yeah, it is strong. It is really high. It is outperforming, right? Altcoins are underperforming against Bitcoin. That's what I've discussed a lot in 2022 and 3. I do think, however, that if you now look at this dominance and be like, well, it could go there, and maybe it got that extra push, maybe not. But are you really going to be on the Bitcoin train now? Or is this something that you should look at and be like, I should have done that sooner. Lesson for next cycle. I think a lot of people come to that realization now. And I think that that's, in that case, too late. I'm not saying that altcoins cannot go lower. Right? Others, Bitcoin made a new low. It has gone lower, definitely. But yeah, are you going to sell the low? I don't know if that's smart. USDT and USDC dominance, is that showing anything concerning? No, in my opinion, it's not. If you look at the two biggest stablecoins and their dominance, you can see that it's basically ranging between 5% and 9%. We are now at 6.7%. This chart going down basically means people deploying their stables into the market, and up they take profit in these stables. It's just a range. It's just a range. It's not that it broke to the upside. It's not that it broke to the downside. Going back to the downside would mean insane returns in the crypto market. However, going back to the upside does not necessarily mean that the market is going to go down. In fact, if you overlay the altcoin market on this chart, what you can see in 2021, here during the altcoin run, where the run really started, you see that the stablecoin dominance also went up. And why is that? It's just yeah, in ratio, more money into stables, but a lot of money came into the crypto market in the first place. So this could go up and still pump your odds. For now, just a range. If we look at this chart, I think this is one of the most important charts out there. This is the Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, USDC, and DAI dominance. So basically everything but altcoins. If you look at this chart, find me someone who looks at this and says, yeah, I'm going to be bullish on that chart. If you are bearish on this chart, then you are basically saying, hey, money eventually goes from Bitcoin, ETH, or stables, or all of them, into alts. 72% is the first stop. That's where we went in November, December last year, when we had a pretty fantastic altcoin run. And a real alt season would mean that it goes down to 60-ish. Yeah, we are at the top. Literally, we are in such a clear distribution phase right now. And we can stay there for a long time. We can also have a similar wick like this, where altcoins get fully wrecked for a short while, and then the run happens. Just be prepared, I would say. If you here still had some cash, ETH, Bitcoin, whatever, and you saw this and you'd be like, wow, altcoins are completely demolished. There's not a better time to step in than now. Yeah, then you would have outperformed anybody in that altcoin run. Really, try to let it go that altcoins are down, so altcoins are dead. Try to see it as altcoins are down, so altcoins are a great opportunity, depending on what you buy, of course, right? Of course. Apart from all of that, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is still elevated compared to where it came from. And I think that this has a lot of room to go up. When I look at everything, I think that there is a lot of opportunity, but this market is a patience tester, really. And I see a lot of people also in the comments giving up. When the market was going up a couple days ago, people were excited. And now that the altcoin market went down this week with 3%, and people turned full bearish. Yeah, I can tell you that if this is already a reason to then it won't work out for you. Then you might as well just sell everything right now and give up. If you cannot handle that, then good luck when the real volatility comes in. That's not gonna work. It's simply not. Sorry. If you feel like, I'm guilty, but I do want exposure to alts in case it does go up, I would say, look at Ethereum, look at a couple coins in the top 100, right? Just some top 100 coins. And to take you there, let me show you this. I would say go with Ethereum. BNB is a good one. Maybe Sol, Doge, maybe some Sui, Chainlink, AVAX. It sounds boring. But in a market that's really going to wreck everything, these coins won't go down as the coins somewhere in the 2000 ranks, right? However, if we get a bull market like we should expect, then these coins are still good for multiple X's. And once that happens, you can always say like, hey, I made money on ETH. I see that this low cap altcoin is still a little underperforming compared to ETH, but it's a full risk on environment. Let me switch, right? You have more confirmation and you can do it like that. No problem. If I look at my altcoin watch list, I said, right, altcoin market down 3%. That's the top 125, of course. I I don't want to say like, hey, your altcoin should not be down more than 3%. My altcoins are definitely down more than 3%. Then again, the worst performer in my list so far is GPU, Prime, OXO, Arrow. But then again, why? Because they were also outperforming. Like Arrow had a pump of, what was it? Like 25% yesterday when everything was going down. 36% actually. So of course it cools off. But overall, if I look at my list, I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, CeDeFi as well, for example. Like, yeah, it's CeDeFi in total, it took a hit of 15%. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. But that happened after it had a run up of 50%. So stop looking at what happened today. Look at the total picture, I would say. Don't worry too much about it. Again, we are not the victims here. Okay, it affects us definitely, but we can take, as stupid as it sounds, advantage of the situation, but don't act like a victim. There are worse things in life. And when it comes to your bags, try to realize why you got into this. And if you get shaken out by every piece of news, because Elon Musk opens his Twitter account again, or whatever, if you can't handle that, get out. Then just get out, really, because you're gonna lose your money. That's actually advice that I'm giving you. That's the best thing for your financial situation. Just get out of crypto. Wait for more confirmation, buy back a lot higher, but then at least the risk is a lot lower. And if you can't handle that, then just wait. This environment isn't it for you yet. When could we expect things to turn around? No idea. I assume this year. But like, what if Powell comes out and he says, hey, rate cuts, hey, end of QT. Cool, it's what we all been waiting for. But then a complete world war happens. Yeah, then the rate cuts are not going to save us. All right. So things have to cool off a little bit. And in the meantime, take advantage, because you'll see how fast crypto adopts. When there's bad news, it tanks. But when there's a bit of not even good news, but just less bad news than we thought, then we already see crypto go up really hard. And that's very simple, because the liquidity, especially in the altcoin market, is really low. So again, we need one piece of good news. And there are many altcoins that 3x in a week already, let alone if we get an actual good risk-on environment. That's going to cause a run, which is completely crazy. Because we are now at prices which are very easy to pump. And there is already money to pump it. Again, the crypto market has more than $3 trillion. 10% of that in the high cap altcoin market, and it already more than doubles. So I rest my case. Thanks for watching. If you want to join the Alpha Factory to come talk with me, us in live streams, one-on-one calls, go over your portfolio, look at my portfolio, getting wrecked so you feel better about yours, exclusive videos, a lot more interesting charts, preparing for the bear market, join. There's a link down below, the smartest community. I think a good community around you is what's going to save you in this cycle. I honestly think so. So do check it out. Take care. Don't be full of emotion, and I'll see you in the next one.